Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.
Whoop, there it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Mama Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove the theories that you, the listener, have at home. It's your time, baby.
I'm David Gborie.
I'm Langston Kerman, and you heard it right. This is a motherfucking mini episode. So we're gonna talk about y'all shit. Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Air horn, motherfucker.
Yep.
We're going to talk about y'all shit. We want to know what's happening in your neck of the conspiratorial woods.
Tell us how you feel.
Tell us exactly how you feel. And you know who did tell us how they felt is a person named Ben. And Ben actually contacted us over a year ago. Ben contacted us, but I didn't give a shit about Ben's email back then. I saw the email and I said, fuck off, Ben. I don't want nothing to do with this.
You do it on your own time. You could have been doing stuff. You were busy.
I had things going on.
You give me a good old rub. That's it.
That's what he was
nice
doing.
And hot under a spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was rubbing meats. I wasn't thinking about Ben's email, but Ben sent us an email and he said, all right, this has been bothering me for a while, but some recent tweets I came across inspired me to write this. Someone of your expertise, if you want to call it that, would probably be interested in diving into this rabbit hole. So as far back as I can remember, there has always been some sort of incident between a black person and a Jewish person, which causes the black community or individual to be accused of anti-Semitism, from Farrakhan and his comments about the community to Ice Cube dissing Jerry Heller, all the way to Nick Cannon's recent incidents and the people who were okay with his statements. Is there something to the black community hating Jewish people, or is it mostly fabrications?
Damn. Yeah.
Listen,
I thought it was gonna be like a funny one about like oral sex or something.
I didn't. As I was reading it, I was like, "Oh, I thought this would just be more like of the times that we're living in." But then, as I was saying, I was like, "Damn, maybe this is political in a way that I don't want to be responsible for."
It's very. I will say that.
Careful.
No, Okay. There is a book called The Rise of Totalitarianism by Hannah Arendt, and it talks about a lot about why throughout history the Jews have become such a hated people. I don't think that it is a specifically blacks versus Jewish people thing as much as it is a lot of people are anti-Semitic.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think you're squinting your eyes as if to say, have I ruined everything? And I don't think so. You mostly blamed it on that lady who wrote that book.
No, I didn't. I'm saying she explained, because she talks about how they were able to get money and occupy a place in society that was only for the bourgeoisie. So when people were looking, like when there were revolutions and stuff and people are looking to like, okay, we know that you got it because you are royalty and it was kind of passed down. How did you guys get it? It's just like an easy group of people to come for because
100%.
They've made money and a lot of people don't understand how.
I think
Is it hot in here?
And I do think that speaks though to sort of if we're talking about this on a more human level, right, and not
Right.
just sort of like a technical, whatever, historical sense, I think what we're talking about is humans, and especially Americans, need to be better than someone,
Right.
to always be seeking a less than individual in society, in their communities, sometimes in their own homes. But like somebody, there has to be some version of a ecosystem sort of building of things that eat other things, whatever the fuck it is. And I think Jewish people have easily and often become a target for creating that hierarchy, and then at times exacerbating that hierarchy, right? Like the issues between Black and Jewish people go in both directions. Whereas, like, when Jewish people were the lowest sort of rung of American culture, they happily accepted the shift upward at with Black people as a target, not
Right.
always intentionally, but certainly as a byproduct of that shift.
Yeah.
I just think nobody wants to be the bottom motherfucker.
No,
and,
I think
and
that's-
in
I
a
think
lot of
that's-
ways, Jews and Blacks are constantly fighting over not being bottom.
Right. We all love basketball. I think that we should focus on our similarities more than our differences. Yeah, no, I think there is like a level of hotepery that does take aim at the Jewish people. I mean, I think we've talked about it on here before. I think it's so complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I think, after we had the episode about the Black Israelites, the people who essentially are arguing a version of what Kanye has become now infamous for, sort of
Which,
like,
by the way, he's dumb. Kanye doesn't read anything. I think he just like spouts talking points. Like somebody was like, this is this, this, and this. And then he goes and says, this is this, this, and this. I think that's why you can't look up to that guy.
No, he truly has not read a single book on the subject. He is
Of
repeating
anything,
back things.
ever. I don't think ever.
And I do blame a lot of the people who spent years defending his perspective instead of identifying that they're just defending a chopped up version of a perspective from a much smarter, more carefully thoughtful person.
Well, wait. So you say that going back to the beginning?
I do.
Really?
100%. Now, I will say that I found myself often defending it in part because it aligned so closely with things I did believe, right? That, like, in the face of Katrina, him being like, George Bush doesn't care about Black people rang so true to me that absolutely I'll defend this motherfucker till I die, right? But then if you ask me, does he read? I still would have been like, no. He doesn't. This isn't a learned, you know what I mean? A learned perspective. This is just a dude who's articulating a thing that I wish someone would have said before. And now, did I know that he was just spouting some shit that somebody backstage told him? I did not. But now I believe that.
Yeah, because he seems to like waver so much. You know what I mean? Like, he seems to be like, clearly, like, we all are searching for the answers, but he seems so confident. It feels like he's just getting taken by, like, con men, kind of.
I think so. I think he's 100% victim of his own sort of, like, celebrity. And
he also believes celebrities are, like, the best people. So you can't. So it's like, oh, yeah. Like, he thinks the most famous means it's the best in whatever it is.
Yeah, he
so
thinks
it's like you're never gonna.
The richest is the best, the most famous. Specifically, when it comes to white fame and white wealth, he is deeply obsessed and can't untether himself. So it's like, yeah, no. Even if he did read, I'm not sure he can see the words any other way than his own like sick brain can make.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a guy who's gonna be able to be fulfilled ever, and that's sad.
Yeah, it is.
That's like like you can't be, you'll never be complete. Like if that's your metric for what life, like his argument is always just like, I'm richer than you. I'm not going to argue with somebody richer than you. And that like also speaks to like capitalism and how sad America is and why and like how misplaced all our values are. You know what I mean?
and why this 40
like we
something,
made him.
40-something-year-old man is still trying to prop himself up in that way despite all of his accomplishments and access. He still needs to be able to say that to another human being. All of it is a reflection of our own sickness as much as his.
Yeah. I don't know. The theories for Kanye are so like I can't tell. He does seem to be kind of a manic person and often exhibiting mania, but I don't know. Maybe he's just like that. People seem to say that he's been pretty consistent in his behavior this whole time.
Yeah, that he hasn't like switched it up too hard on anybody.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't know. And I don't want to keep talking about him because we'll get in trouble eventually. One of us will be like, I don't know, he wasn't that bad. And then suddenly that's the sound bite.
Yeah, he's got some ideas.
Yeah, it's like, fuck. No.
Yeah, this was a complicated email.
Yeah, I will say it reminded me when I first moved to New York, I lived in a neighborhood on a street. These are very specific details. I lived in a neighborhood, Crown Heights, where the neighborhood is largely separated between a primarily Caribbean group of people and a extremely Hasidic group of people.
That's where they took over the school system, right?
I believe so. And part of that separation, if we're talking about the same thing, part of that separation was originally rooted in a black girl accidentally being killed in a car crash, I believe, by a Hasidic driver. And then that leading to a bunch of riots in the neighborhood from the black community with the Hasidic community because of the separations in terms of like policy, policing, whatever the fuck, that ultimately led to like a deeply sort of like conflicted relationship with these two what is exactly the same community groups.
Right. No, there's a really good, I think it's like Radio Lab about that, but I listened to, anyways, I like Jewish people. Langston likes Jewish people.
Big fan.
And that's really all we can say here.
I love how you handled that. You were like, I'm not going to interact with that story anymore. Yeah, enough's enough.
We went to war, it was complicated, and, war hurts both sides.
Who's to say who's right and who's wrong? Maybe that dead girl deserved it. That's not our business.
That is not the sound bite.
That's not our business.
No, that's not how I feel. No dead girl ever deserved it.
I don't know. That's not what his eyes are saying, folks.
You're lucky this is an audio medium.
Well, Gborie's right. We probably did everything we could do here. Ben, I think you didn't know this when you sent the email at the time, but you put us in quite a pickle. And to the larger question of because I do want to make sure we're answering it as directly as we can, to the larger question of there being an ongoing conflict between black and white people, or black and Jewish people, excuse me, I absolutely do think that there probably is. I don't think that is necessarily rooted in us being especially anti-Semitic. I think, as Gborie pointed out, it probably is closer to the fact that the world has, in various forms, leaned on anti-Semitism as a way of creating power structures that are maintained by every community across the country, world, even if we should be trying some other shit.
That
David,
that was good. That was good.
Hell yeah. Do you want to tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Yes, you can find me at my local JCC volunteering, teaching the kids basketball, football, arts and crafts, whatever they need. I'm an ally.
Yeah, I'm teaching the Torah at mine. So
yeah, good for you.
That might be a hate crime. I don't know nothing. I literally can't even read them words.
Yeah, I've never read it. What is it? It's just the Old Testament, right?
Oh boy, I don't know that to be true. Now we're in trouble again.
It's complicated. All right. You know, as long as we know the Catholic Bible is fake.
That one's made up. Who the fuck is King James?
Yeah, Apocrypha? What? That's like, nobody else has that. It's like 5 extra books. More readings? No more.
And as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman. I'll be around on all them platforms, just waiting for you, just hoping you show up. And otherwise, we did it. Bye, bitch.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.